I'm gonna give him a milk chance, 2%. And Skip, there's not very many golfers in the history of this game can get off their deathbed in 13 and 14 months later. And just the mere fact that we got him at a percent that is not zero. Let that sink in, Skip. The mere fact that it's not zero lets you know just how great Tiger Woods is. I'm listening to him talking, Skip. They're like, man, he has a realistic shot. I'm like, do y'all really? I mean, I can notice him walking with a limp, Skip. I don't know if you can notice it, but I can see he's walking. He's not as fluid. It's kind of like he's flat-footed, like he's flat-footed with it. So it lets.
I thought he limped a little worse yesterday than the day before.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm not seeing things then because I thought I noticed the limp also. I said, but maybe it's because I walk with a limp because of my hip. Maybe I'm putting that off on Tiger.
You're not.
Okay. So with that being said, Skip, I do believe he's going to make the cut. Skip, it's really soggy. It rained a lot yesterday in Augusta. Guys are going to go flag hunting today. When it's soggy like that, Skip, they can go low.
Sometimes.
Skip, I believe they're going to go low today. And this is the day to go low because it's going to be so saturated. So with that being said...
It just depends where they put the pins, but go ahead.
I think they've already got that mapped out. And Tiger and these guys are going to go hunting. Now, look, John Rahm, JT, DJ, Brooks Koepka, and Scotty Scheffler, those are the favorites. Tiger's what, 60-1? He was 14, but he was 14-1 before the 2019 Masters in which he won. So obviously the odds have increased because his degree of difficulty, given what he's gone through over the last 13, 14 months. But Skip, the fact of the matter is that we're like, man, we actually think Tiger has a chance to win this. There are people that are professionals, and you hear guys talking like, he looked really good. The question that I have, Skip, can he walk this terrain for 4 days? Still,
it's the question.
Be mentally focused to hit that, to do what he needs to do? Because at some point, Skip, I can assure you that what he's been practicing, he ain't been walking. He ain't been walking like he gonna have to walk if he makes this cut, which I believe he will, for 4 days. He ain't been doing that kind of walking. So with that being said, Skip.
He hasn't, because his home golf course is flat, and this one, trust me, I think it's the toughest walk on tour. This is the one where I have covered the Masters, I think, about 30 times, but I have walked that golf course 100 times. It doesn't translate on television just how mountain goaty hills they are. These are big hills.
Most of the things don't translate. People need to go see the Daytona 500.
That's a good one.
And see that embankment. When you get up at it and you act like that. They damn near upside down.
So banked, it feels like the car would roll. But they're going so fast, the centrifugal force keeps them.
And that's why they have to be. That's why it has to be like that, or it would take off.
I got it.
So with that being said, Skip, I believe he's going to make the cut. I believe he'll play well. I thought the accomplishment, Skip, was him showing up after what he had gone through over the last 13 and 14 months. But I don't believe in his mind that's going to be good enough just showing up. It's going to be, he's going to want to make the cut. And like he said, this is what you know about the greats. He ain't showing up if you don't think you can win. That's how he thinks, Skip. They ask him, and he deadpan, Tiger, do you think he'll win? Yep. I don't believe he bull jiving. I believe he thinks he can win this tournament because he feels most comfortable of all the courses, and I'm sure even his home course. Other than his home course, I think he feels most comfortable at the Masters.
I'm going to say he feels the most comfortable of any course
even
in
his
the
home
world.
Course.
That is correct. Call me crazy. Call me caught up in Tiger mania, Tiger hysteria. I did read that yesterday one of the betting houses said it had taken 1,000 more bets on Tiger than any other player in the field, including those leaders. Most of them longer shot bets to win because people are swept up. This is not just the story of the month. This is the story of the year. It could be the story of the decade. And yet, I'm going from your 2%. I'm going to put a 0 on it and go to 20%.
You're going to almost get 20%?
20%. And I told you, you can disqualify me, but there are actually 2 people in sports I do not bet against. And you know, the one, he plays quarterback for Tampa Bay. But this is the other guy. I just don't bet against him. And I'm still fixated. I'm still almost lost in a 2-word response that he gave the other day in the media session that he did, where he was asked that question you asked that you just posed about, Well, doesn't he just feel like he actually can go there and win? And one of the reporters asked him, do you really believe you could win? And it was just 2 words, I do.
Yeah.
And it was the greatest I do I've heard since I got married to Ernestine, right?
Yeah.
And the point was, I bought it. He sold me with 2. That's 3 letters and 2 words. Yeah. I do. Yeah. And he said it with such conviction that I said, he does believe this.
He didn't blink. He didn't look to the side.
No.
He didn't make a smirk. I do.
He didn't pause.
No.
I do.
Yes.
And he does. Now, what does that mean or matter? Well, it just means that he believes his body will function at a high enough level that he has a chance to contend on Sunday when he will wear his traditional red shirt at Augusta National.
Right.
And the point is, what I have loved, I told you this when we first talked about this off his practice round. Trust me, I have watched Tiger like a hawk. I have just, because, you know, I'm a golf addict, and I just, when he's playing, it's captivating. It cannot take your eyes off.
Yeah.
He is golf. He put it back on the map. He built a new map that Jack Nicklaus couldn't quite build because it's just not electrifying enough. This guy is the most spectacular pressure shot maker we've ever seen in golf history. And I can't even go to the point to say he's greater than Jack Nicklaus. Obviously, it's still 18 to 15 in majors. But I'm not counting Tiger out just yet. He's 46. I'm not counting him out. But the point is, he has been the worst driver of the golf ball of any great player ever. Ever. And he gets away with it because he is such a superb shot maker. He is
iron game, though.
He is the greatest clutch putter in the history of this game, including the great Jack Nicklaus, greatest clutch putter. So when I watched him in the practice round, his driver swing, and again, this is a long golf course that just got longer because number 11, as you go into Amen Corner, they made it 520 yards. It's a par 4. It's longer than the par 5 on on number 13 on the back. Okay. So the point is, he's plenty long enough because the driver swing, to me, it looks better than ever. It looked efficient. It looked in sync. He's slotting it and firing it. And then I read yesterday, he played 9 holes. He hit all 7 fairways. You get 7 shots, except for the 2 par 3s, obviously, to hit the ball in the fairway with your driver. I don't know if he hit driver every time on the par 4s and 5s. He hit every fairway. That's a signal to the field. Look out, because if he's driving the ball on the short grass, he has got chance. He lives for this golf course. It's like part of his skin, like it's part of his whole being is he has absorbed this golf course.
Well, you would know better than I would, but it damn sure seemed like once Tiger started playing the Masters, they made more changes to that course when Tiger started playing than they did in the previous year when he didn't play.
Well,
Tiger proved it.
They actually went upside down because the way to Tiger prove it was actually to make it shorter, so that you bring the rest of the field back in, because if you make it longer, he's hitting it off the planet, well, then you just make his advantage greater and greater. So that was a bad idea. But go ahead.
But then that was the thing, though, Skip. But you're right. When I look at this, and there are some great guys in this field, and Scotty Scheffler is the new number 1. This is going to be the first tournament that he starts, and he's number 1. Ain't nobody mentioning him. Everybody talking about Tiger. John Rahm and JT and Brooksy and DJ.
Yeah, I just watched the whole match play, and Scotty Scheffler was really good. He was indomitable. He was unbeatable. And now he's an also-ran because that guy's back.
Matsuyama, he's trying to come back, is trying to repeat, but he's like dealing with some injuries with his neck since March. But everybody's talking about Tiger. Skip, he's the guy that you can't invite him because everybody gonna want to talk to him and dance with him, and the party gonna be done because everybody gonna be standing around talking to him, and ain't nobody gonna be on the dance floor.
That's a fact.
Everybody gonna stand around watching Tiger.
Okay, here's what I believe about Tiger, and it concerns the sport you played. Of all the athletes I've ever covered, I've never seen any athlete in any sport, including football, overcome more injuries to bounce back to dominate the way that guy has. It's off the charts because he's a golfer. It's allegedly a non-contact sport. He's had ACL surgeries. He's had torn Achilles. He's had
tibia fracture.
But
Skip, but unlike football, that's not. that's in the sport itself. You get tackled or you land funny, you break something. A lot of that is his own doing. That was in training. He broke his body down in training, not on the golf course.
These were self-inflicted because
yeah.
reportedly the ACL came when he was on maneuver with the Navy SEALs because he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. He was a Marine who fought in Vietnam.
Right.
Earl was.
Right.
Okay. So that's on you.
Right.
And then he fractured his leg. It was a hairline, but it's a fracture.
Right.
Running distance like 5 miles in Army boots.
Yep.
In Army boots?
Right.
Well, they weigh like 10 pounds. What are you doing?
You got no cushion. You got to heal.
Okay. So it's self-inflicted.
Right.
He's had neck issues. He's had shoulder surgery.
Right.
He's had terrible back. He's had, what, 3 different back.
2 of them fusion.
Two were big and one was a procedure.
Right. But we get the back, Skip. That's a lot of torque over and over and over and over. So we get that one, Skip. But the ACLs and all that other stuff.
Okay, so has any 46-year-old in sports ever rehabbed more than that guy has?
No.
And so now he talks about the first 3 months after the accident, and just to reiterate, as we did yesterday, he's going 80 miles an hour downhill and
in unfamiliar territory.
Did not touch the brake. Did not touch the brake. How do you live? How do you walk away? And for that matter, thank God he didn't take anybody else's life, but he's very lucky, and he did say, that's the first time I ever heard him say this in the press session the other day. He said, how does this leave you? They asked him, how does it leave you feeling? He said, thankful. I've never heard him say thankful like that. Because he should be thankful.
God was busy that day. He didn't call Tiger. He didn't answer Tiger's call.
And then God looked down on him one more time because they're looking at the leg like, we may just have to take this leg.
Yeah.
And at the last second, they said, well, maybe. Don't bet against him. So he says 3 months in a hospital bed. And now he's limp walking, but he's walking.
Right.
And he's swinging not just pretty well. Trust me, he's swinging great. It looked the best I've ever seen it look. Seriously.
Right. I might need to run home and put some money on Tiger.
Woo. I don't know. I mean, it's hard. Look, in all my years of predicting, the hardest thing to predict is a golf tournament.
Right.
There are just too many guys. Right. And you don't know. It's such a weird game where it comes and it goes. Right. And you can't explain it. And sometimes it can come and go in mid-round where you can't fix it on the fly.
Right.
But when it comes, when it's there, when the magic starts to flow, man, and he knows the magic. Right. And nobody can get hotter than he can get. Right. So, to me, he's perfectly positioned where, look, to your first point, if he misses the cut, if he shoots 78 and misses the cut, will anybody hold it against him?
No.
Well, obviously, no.
No.
So for once, maybe you could argue this is the least pressure he's ever felt going into a major championship. This will be the first time, Skip, he can go into a golf tournament and it's okay for him to be mortal.
Absolutely. So if he's not Tiger, he can be Eldrick for two days.
He can be Eldrick.
He'd be cool.
And we're all we're thankful that we have him. And so, God, I'm going to sit back today and just sort of drink it all in like he's there.
Yep.
He's alive. He's fairly well. He's about as well as you could ever hope to be.
Given the circumstances, absolutely.
And he's walking on a very difficult golf course to walk. And you have to know he's happy, right?
Yeah.
That he's back in his element and got to go to the champions dinner. I just think it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Skip, but I'm really not surprised because what we've seen over Tiger, no matter the adversity that he goes through, if this event is on the docket, Tiger gonna make his way. He gonna make his way. Remember, he came up out of therapy. He came up out of rehab, Skip, like 4 or 5 days before. Even though at the time his wife was like, you just checked in. Like, I'm just checking out. I'm good.
Well, his dear friend, long-term friend, Freddie Couples said after their practice round the other day, he can win. He's hitting it as far as anybody. He's fine.
If he plays like he's hitting in practice, he absolutely can win, Freddie.
Okay, so I'm sticking at 20, and I think I just talked you up to maybe 14%.
I got to stay. Nope. I got to stay with the milk. I got to stay with the 2%.
2%?
2%. That's all I got for you.
Yours is far more realistic. I will give you that. But when it comes to this guy at that place under this circumstance,
can you imagine if he's in contention on Sunday? What kind of eyeballs are going to be on that television set?
I can't imagine. And one last quick point: when he came back to win the last time in Augusta, Michael Bamberger wrote a great piece about this the other day. his tee shot on 13 on Sunday, it's a dogleg left around the corner on the par 5, and you need to draw the ball. And he slipped. It's a tee that's back off the beaten path where there are no fans back there.
Right.
And Bamberger wrote that you go back and look at the tape, and he curses because he said, I slipped. And the ball hooks into the trees, and the trees just spit it out in the fairway. Trust me, Rays Creek goes all back through there, so it can go really wrong there. And somehow the ball winds its way through the trees, bounce, carom, and spits out right into the middle of the fairway, where he's got an easy second shot on a par 5 into the green. My point is, there's something about Augusta. The golf gods at Augusta love him.
Right.
And so it's almost like it's from above, like they protect him.
Yeah.
So I think however much luck he needs, he'll get it from the golf gods.
They love him, but they hate Greg Norman.
They hate Greg Norman. Trust me, they do. Right. They'll find a way to lose his golf ball for him.
Guys, we'll get our first glimpse about 11:04 Eastern this morning. That's when Tiger tees off. Great stuff so far. All right, let's move.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.